Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Dangle, Bet, Celly, powered by FTN. Chris Meaney and the Eric Young here with you. It is nice to be back. We missed you guys. Hopefully, everybody had a fantastic Happy New Year, a holiday break. We have a semi-normal NHL day to break down. There's still a lot of games postponed over the next couple of weeks, especially a lot of Canadian teams playing in Canada. Not going to happen over these next couple of weeks. EY, good to have you back. Did you have a great New Year? How are you, man?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I would have a great New Year. It was on the IR. Super sick. I was up in Canada visiting family, bragging about how I haven't been sick in over 10 years. And then I got violently ill. I could barely talk and goo running all over the place out of my nose and out of my mouth. And it was not COVID. So everyone just be calm.
Well, that's good.
Been tested, 2 negative tests. So I can continue on with my life unless I lived in Canada.
Unless you lived in Canada. Well, you have you're rocking a brand new jersey there. I think you need to show off. That's pretty cool.
Got a Seattle Kraken, our boy, Yanni Gourde.
Nice.
I think if I was to be any player in the NHL to liken how I play, it's similar to Yanni Gourde. I mean, obviously on a much more terrible scale, but yeah, that's how I play. I play very similar to him. I bump into everything I can, and sometimes I score.
Sometimes you score. 2-way forward, right? A little flashy. You can play in all situations, right? Yanni Gourde. I like Yanni Gourde. He's trending up. The Kraken are not playing tonight, but you and I definitely like Yanni Gourde. We're big fans of his. And really just over the past couple of years when the Bolts won the Cup, Yanni Gourde was the guy that nobody really talked about. But he was the player who led the team in ice time. Like, he was the guy who took all the important faceoffs. Like, it wasn't Braden Point. It wasn't Stammer taking those faceoffs. It was Yanni Gourde. And I really noticed it in the finals against the Canadiens, where John Cooper was willing to double shift Yanni Gourde. Yanni Gourde had 2 shifts in one game against the Canadiens. I think it was game 3 before Stamkos even touched the ice. Like, he was just like, Gourde, you're going back on. That line is great. And your other guy, this is a big Kraken show here now, Calle Yarncroc. He's trending up too, man. And these guys are super cheap on DFS. Again, the Kraken are not... They're not playing today. They only have 1 game this week. It's a weird week, man. The Canadiens don't have a game this week. The Islanders don't have a game this week. There's several teams with just 1 or 2. Nobody has 4. We have a free article over at ftnfantasy.com breaking down the week. Some 3-game streams, some back-to-back streams, some weekend stuff. And, you know, guys, this is the point of the season, I think, now, EY. It's not panic mode, but we're into week 12 of the fantasy hockey season. There's roughly 8 weeks left until fantasy hockey playoff time. I don't think it's panic mode. I'm not going to speak for you. You go ahead too. But I'm not cutting anybody that's on the COVID list. I'm not cutting any superstars just yet. There's still like 2 months left to go here before we get going into playoff time. But there's a lot of good players on the waiver wire that could help you out, like a Yanni Gourde, like an underrated Calle Yarncroc, Jared McCann. Like, these Kraken guys are coming to mind. Mark Giordano. There's a lot of players right now that are on the waiver wire because, man, the past couple of weeks it's been a crapshoot.
Yeah, I mean, a complete crapshoot. And if you manage to get a win or keep a position in your fantasy league, then a tip of the cap to you. I mean, people were asking me questions on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram and stuff, and I just didn't know what to tell them. I mean, it's just such an unprecedented, weird thing. The games that are being postponed, the plan right now in the NHL is for those teams to make up those games. And I think that is what will happen. Something to consider is there's going to be teams that are going to have a ton of 4-week games. And those guys are going to be very valuable going forward, like Dallas, like Calgary, like Ottawa, teams like that are going to, basically play 4 games a week for the rest of the year. So that's something to really consider in your season long. If you can get those players, if you can make a trade for Gaudreau or Mangiapane, or I noticed that Robertson was available on some waiver wires this morning while I was cruising around like a complete psycho. I need to win in hockey because I was in 5 of 9 semifinals for football, and I lost by 3 points or less in every single one of them. I played Michael Fabiano in a finals last night, and I needed 8 points from Pat Freiermuth, and I lost by 1.5 points. So that's where my mental state is. I was up all night breaking things in my garage alone in the dark, and now I'm here doing the hockey show.
Man, nothing more frustrating than losing a fantasy football matchup by like a point or two, right? And Big Ben threw the ball. The Big Ben threw the ball like I don't even know off the top of my head. I think like 50 times, and
31 times.
I don't even know.
Half.
Yeah, did he even crack 200 yards? I don't think he did. But yeah, he's just chucking. He's just chucking. But good on Big Ben to get the final win at Heinz Field. But we're here to talk a little hockey. If you're just new to the show, please rate, review, subscribe. You're watching here on the YouTube page. Smash that like button to see our usual friends here hanging out. We love it. Dustin, Troy, Mark. We got Brandon. We have Dustin as well. We have 2 Dustins in the house here today. Any questions, guys? Austin Collins here too. Any questions, guys, absolutely hit us up from a season-long standpoint, from a dynasty, keeper league, betting standpoint, DFS, all that stuff. Hopefully we can cover all the bases here for you today. We do have 8 games in the NHL, so before we get after it, again, tell a friend, rate, review, subscribe, 5 stars, iTunes, Spotify, wherever it is that you listen to your podcast. We're absolutely available everywhere, and we're going to make up some of these shows. We haven't been around for the past couple weeks. We will be heavy hockey here now that we can turn the page really on fantasy football and focus in on the NHL. A couple just items I wanted to talk about. I mentioned the Fantasy Hockey Waiver Wire article. It's free over at ftnfantasy.com. Scan the waiver wire, like EY said this morning. You scan in the waiver wire. Robertson is hanging out there. Brian Rust potentially could be hanging out there. He just returned to the lineup the other day. He had 3 goals and 5 points, 5 shots. He took a spot up on the top line with Jake Gensel, who also returned, and Sidney Crosby. Anthony Duclair is hanging around waiver wires. We've been talking about Noah Dobson quite a bit, EY. He's got points in 3 straight and 6 of his last 7. His ownership is still only 25%. He is available in leagues. And then we'll transition here to Igor Sharangovich, who has been pretty good of late as well. As we get into our first game of the night, it is the New Jersey Devils and the Boston Bruins. The Bruins heavy home favorites here, minus 245. The Devils check in at plus 210, and the over-under is 5.5. From an injury standpoint, Dougie Hamilton is day-to-day. He may return in this game, but everything else is looking pretty clear here. This looks like full rosters on both sides. I've noticed that one of the most goalies picked up over the past 24 hours, actually a week and a half, has been Tuukka Rask, who has been practicing with the Boston Bruins. He does not have a contract yet with the Bruins. It does seem like Boston is just going to sign him maybe to a minimum deal, and I don't know, I'd imagine maybe Swayman is the odd man out, but he could get the start here today, and I'd expect Mackenzie Blackwood to get the start. Man, the Devils playing pretty good lately. Jack Hughes especially, up to a point per game, that top line with him, Sharangovich, and Jesper Bratt, our guy. The trio has been pretty good. And then Boston shuffled their lines a little bit. Craig Smith is on that top line, Pasternak on that second line. What do you think, man? Bruins heavy favorites. I'm always hesitant to lay that kind of juice on them. I think we could see an upset here today.
Yeah, I think we could too. Boston is still a great team. That top line obviously is still one of the best in the NHL, but the goaltending has been real shaky all year for them. Now they have, the mystery of Tuukka Rask, and is he going to play? Is he going to sign with the team? And the 2 goalies thinking about that. These are real people, and they're worried about their jobs and their position. And neither of them have played great. So Tuukka Rask gets come in and, be on a real reasonable contract for Boston and steal that crease and be the starter going forward. We know that Rask, when he plays, he's a great goalie, but we haven't seen him play in quite a while. So who knows what's going to happen? I worry about that too. DraftKings has got a negative 250 for Boston and plus 210. And I think with those numbers, I'm going to probably take a small risk on New Jersey to win this game.
Yeah, I was maybe even looking at just the puck line. Like, they smashed the Wings the other day, but the Sabres were up on them for a bit, and then they came back. To take the Devils on the puck line, minus 120 over at DraftKings is not bad. I see a question there regarding David Pasternak. What's up with Pasternak? Is it time to start betting under 3.5 shots at plus money? I'm not a big under guy. You guys know this. When I give unders on games, I just fade me. I can't seem to get it right. I mean, last night had the under of the football game, but both those teams stink. They couldn't score any points. It's easy. Yeah. The under over Pasternak for shots, it just, He's such a volume shooter, and Dustin, the attempts have still been there, even though he's not getting 3 shots, like 2 shots in his last game, 3 the game before, and then he had 7 against the Islanders. He had nothing against Vegas. He had a couple before that with 4 in a row. His price actually is the best I've ever seen for a guy at 3.5 at -125 over at Caesars, -140 at DraftKings, -167 at Unibet. I'm not suggesting the over, but if there's a game where it's going to happen, it's probably going to be against this Devils squad. Over the past 6 weeks, they're inside the top 12 in shot attempts allowed at 5 and 5 per 60 minutes. They still give up a ton of rubber. I don't think listen, I don't think I'm betting the under, but I also don't think I'm taking the over on him. I know that you're not a big shot prop guy, but EY, until they, put him back on the top line, I don't know, man. I think I'll just kind of fade him or stay away. Or if I had a lean, it may be the under. I'm kind of interested in Craig Smith from a DFS standpoint up on that top line with Bergeron and Marchand tonight.
Yeah, Craig Smith, and we've talked about him before. I'm very familiar with him as he played most of his career here in Nashville. And when he gets hot, I feel like him being on the top line is the coaches are seeing something in practice where he's playing well with those guys. He's shooting the puck. He's doing all the right things. And when Craig Smith gets hot, it's crazy. Like, he appears like he's one of the best players in the NHL. I know that sounds nuts, but it's true. And he is crazy streaky where he will go several games without even a point, where he's invisible on the ice. He's doing all the right things. He's a 200-foot player. He's responsible that way. But as far as scoring goes, when he gets hot, he can be one of the hottest scorers in the NHL. And maybe the coaches are feeling like that's this time right now and why they're putting him up. I would imagine in DraftKings, he's very affordable, and he's probably available in a lot of season-long leagues as well.
Yeah, he's probably just a stream. I'm sure that they switch things up a little bit. They're probably trying to get a little bit more balance with this Bruins squad. It just can't be one line for them. Eric Halla playing second line center with Taylor Hall and David Pastrnak. So he's got 2 volume shooters on his wing. But Craig Smith was 2-5 the other day against the Sabres. We talked about him over at FTNDaily.com. He had a goal and 3 shots, and then his price jumped up to $4K against Detroit. He only played 12 minutes though, so he had 17 minutes against the Sabres that first game up on that top line, and then he played 12 in that second one against Detroit. He did have 2 shots and an assist. He was +3. His price has jumped up even more. He's 4-3 on DraftKings, but I think he's still affordable. He's +150 for 3 shots. Like, that to me is super appealing. It's not going to be my favorite play on the board, but 5 shots here in 2 games on that top line, +150 is, man, like, sign me up for that. Like, taking a shot on guys. He's +140 for a point. I like that one quite a bit. He's +270 for an assist. Like, playing with Bergeron and Marchand against the Devils on the top line, you may just fall into a point or so. I think a long shot for an assist at +270, but I think a point +140 is certainly on my radar. Same thing with like Brad Marchand. Brad Marchand for an assist is it's a little bit much. -149. I don't like to pay -149 for an assist. They're kind of tough to hit. Mark's kind of feeling what I'm feeling. Brad for an assist, Jack for a point, Boston Devils. What do you make of the Devils lineup? And they've been pretty cheap in DFS over the past little bit. Their price has jumped up. It's tough to stack against the Devils. Brad is 5'2", Hughes is 6, but Sharangovich is 3'2", and I'm very interested in him as a potential one-off. He's got goals in 3 straight games. He's got points in 4 straight. He's had at least 4 shots in 3 straight games. I'm interested in his shot prop tonight. What do you think about these Devils? Would you get involved maybe with that top line from a DFS standpoint?
I mean, at that price, I feel like, that could be the bargain of the night. Like I said, the Boston Bruins are still a good team, but their goaltending has been up and down. They've been able to win games, here and there, but the goaltending has been shaky. The New Jersey Devils have been hot since Hughes coming back. He's been playing great, and I actually have Sharangovich written down here for a DFS start because of his price. I mean, he's going to play important minutes. He's going to play power play. And the New Jersey Devils are a hot team right now.
This is the guy we thought we were getting, right? I mean, he was all over the draft kit for me. It was the guy that I wanted. Last year as a rookie, he was impressive, especially down the stretch. And then the sophomore here, the first couple months of the season were brutal for him. Definitely October, November, there was really not a whole lot, but he's up to 7 goals and 14 points all of a sudden. You mentioned the ice time, 14 minutes, 16 minutes, 17 minutes. So he's had an increase in ice time and actually 4 straight games. His price is 2.5, 2.7, 2.5, 2.8, now 3.2 today. His shot prop is 1.5. Yes, I'm going to take that for a guy who has 12 shots in his last 3 games. Jack Hughes, I like the point call, minus 105 for a point. Not too bad. He's at 2.5 shots as well. He didn't get there in the last game. He's a bit of a pass-first guy, even though he's been shooting more lately. I don't think I'll go there against the Bruins. I think we can move on from here. I'm not into Boston. I like Craig Smith. I like Jack Hughes. I like Sharon Govich. Is kind of what I'm feeling here. Let's continue. Let's continue moving on here. We got a few more games to talk about. All right, this one's a good one. This one's a good one. We have Florida minus 135 on home ice and the Calgary Flames at plus 120. Let's talk about Florida here. There's some news here to talk about. Reinhart was placed on the COVID list yesterday, I do believe. So it looks like he potentially is out of the lineup. Sam Bennett, just a nasty hit the other day on Cedric Paquette. There was no penalty on the call. He got suspended 3 games, so he's going to be out of the lineup for a little bit. I think that's it from a Florida standpoint. Calgary is back, healthy, and loaded. You and I have been talking about this Florida team and this Calgary team for a long time. I'm interested to see which way you're going to go here. But the Panthers are 17-3 on home ice. It's a league best, and they have played the over in 15 of their 20 games. I don't know if this one is going to go to the over. It's at 6. I have a lot of respect for Markstrom. What are you thinking here between these two teams?
I love the Florida Panthers, but with Reinhart and Bennett both out, that leaves them with some pretty inexperienced players in the lineup and playing down the middle of the ice. Calgary Flames, we've talked about them a ton this year. Love this team. I love how aggressive they are in all aspects, on the penalty kill, on the power play. Like they're just a very aggressive team. It seems like there's always 2 guys on the puck, and it's really hard to get things going. And with inexperienced players, I think that's going to be a difference. DraftKings has got the Calgary Flames at plus 115, and that's going to be my big bet for the night for Calgary Flames to win on the road against Florida tonight.
I like it. I'm with you. It's really tough for me to bet against Florida. I've been not only have I been betting them on the money line, I've been betting them on the puck line. I actually took them against the Canadiens to win by 3 goals at plus 200 over the week. That was wild, right? They were minus 670 favorites heading into that game against the Habs the other night, and they made me sweat it out because Montreal was hanging around in that game. But this Panthers team is loaded, but I agree with you, right? Missing 2 key players, and they're loaded, right? Offensively, they're fine. Like, they could still win this game, but the fact that we can get the Flames here plus money, fully healthy, and I think they can go toe-to-toe here. I love the top line with Gaudreau, Tkachuk, and Lindholm. I was wrong. So 20 games on home ice, 14 have played to the over. So we've seen at least 6 goals in 14 of the 20 games with the Panthers here on home ice. And some of those games actually were 6.5, and they still cleared that over. Any people hanging out here? Are we feeling we need a same game parlay for all Panthers? Absolutely we do. We need to have like a Barkov shots and assists, and Duclair is feeling it. Huberdeau shots. On the other side, we could take Johnny Hockey. Johnny Hockey's been he's been pretty legit here this season, having a real nice year, shooting the puck a lot. Matthew Tkachuk, Lindholm, that top line is great. Your boy Mangiapane. If there was a way to go, like if you were to call a goal here for the Flames tonight, who would it be?
Yeah, I think I'm going to probably go with Mangiapane. I mean, he was crazy hot to start the year, cooled down. A bunch of postponed games and COVID and stuff has run through this team, but they're back at full strength. Look, I don't like betting against Florida. They're one of my favorite teams to watch. I will watch this game probably in its entirety today. Not probably. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm going to watch this game all the way through because I'm a complete psycho. I think it'll be a really fun game, but I do like Calgary to win. I think Mangiapane, I'm probably going to put him in as an anytime scorer for me.
Yeah, Johnny Hockey is minus 208 for a point, Mark. So, I mean, if you're parlaying points, I'm fine with it. If you could parlay, it's like touchdown props, right? Like Cooper Kupp, for example, in the NFL. Guy scores a touchdown basically every single week, and he was like minus 160, minus 175. If you include these guys for a point, like say it's Brad Marchand or Bergeron or Johnny Hockey, we get into some other games here, like a Nathan McKinnon, he's going to be at 1.5. He probably won't. He's no good for you. Like a Kadri, you could parlay these and get yourself like a four leg parlay, a point prop for maybe 7-1, 850-1. Like that's pretty pretty decent. His shot prop is now up to 3.5. It's a little high for me. Huberdeau 2.5 plus money. I like that one. Barkov's minus 155 for 2.5 shots. I mean, these guys are going to have to kind of pick it up a little bit and shoot the puck. Duclair is not offered. I'm not seeing him anywhere for shot props. Would I take him? He'd probably be at plus money at 2.5. I think we could see him shoot the puck a little bit more, get just a little bit more ice time, maybe top power play time, right, with no Bennett and no Reinhart. Like, Reinhart was on that first unit, Bennett was on the second. You're missing two guys right there from a power play standpoint. I think I can't go 3.5 for Johnny Hockey, even though he's been shooting the puck. And Matthew Tkachuk, he's got to double check. He wasn't there this morning when I was looking. Yeah, he's 3.5 as well, minus 267 for a shot. But I don't mind maybe Tkachuk at plus 150 for an assist. But we're both on the Flames. Let's put the Flames on our card. We like them here today. Man, this team are good, man. They're good. Yep. They may be the best Canadian team in the NHL. I mean, the Leafs are pretty strong. Good. The Oilers are a
right
hot
there.
mess right now.
Yeah. Oh God.
We may see a coaching change in Edmonton here immediately.
Something's got to happen. I mean, the reality is we talked about this, I think, on the first show. The fact that they did nothing for goaltending is the kiss of death. You can't win games in the NHL with no goaltending. You just can't. It doesn't matter if you got Connor McDavid and he never comes off the ice. The rest of your forwards aren't scoring. Your defense is not great, especially not anyone except for Darnell Nurse is a liability back there. So the fact that they did nothing in the net is just insane. It's insane.
Yeah, it really is. Calgary to win in regulation today is plus 205, but the Panthers lead the NHL in comebacks. You can never count them out. They always come back. Yeah. They seem to force overtime. It's tough. It seems like a lot of people in the chat are feeling the Flames and the under. Mark says it's spicy. It is. I just told you those numbers, guys. A little hesitant with the under, but Markstrom is great, right? So he could get us there. It's possible. I'd lean to the under more than the over, even though the over has hit like 90% of Florida's home games here. Vladimir, you're right. Mangiapane is cold. Eric won't like to hear this, but I did write him up as a sell high candidate over at ftnfantasy.com. But he's a little cold. I'd like to see him kind of stick inside that top six. He gets power play time, but I don't really love his line mates, but let's keep things going here. We got Tampa Bay and Columbus. Again, another heavy favorite here in the Bolts on the road, minus 205. Columbus at plus 190. Injury standpoint, we do have Nikita Kucherov skating with the team. He's not close yet to returning, but he's going to be here before you know it. He is practicing in a limited fashion. From the Columbus standpoint, Zach Werenski is out today, so that means a big boost from a DFS standpoint for Jake Bean. Jake Bean is somebody I've been playing here and there. There was a point where Zach missed some time, and look at the ice time. He had 26, 25, 27. He can block a few shots for you. Maybe he gets some power play time. Maybe he shoots the puck a couple times. Maybe he can get the shot bonus and the block bonus. I think he's a pretty good value over, on FanDuel and DraftKings at 3-3. I'm on the Bolts, though. Speaking of value, there's a lot from a DFS standpoint here. Palat has been great. He's 5-3. Killorn 4-5. We have Cirelli on that top line here today on the wing with Point and Palat. He's 3-9 on DraftKings. Columbus gives up a ton of rubber, guys. Eric, where are you at here with this contest?
Yeah, I think the Bolts win this game. Columbus has got Line back, and he looks to be coming back into form and scoring and getting points. But the reality is Tampa Bay is still one of the class teams in the NHL, and I'm not touching the plus 200 for Columbus.
They have been struggling. Tampa.
They have been, no doubt.
Significantly. They lost 9-3 to Florida. They didn't have Vasilevsky. They lost 4-3 to the Rangers, didn't have Vasilevsky. He returned, they lost 4-0 to the Rangers. So they have been struggling. Yeah, you're right. Line's back, top line intact. That was pretty good earlier. They hit the score sheet the other day. Boone Jenner, Voracek, Line was really cheap from a DFS standpoint. I don't think I'll go there. I think Tampa will start to turn this around pretty soon. Vasilevsky in between the pipes will definitely help things. But, man, there's a lot of value here to be had with some of these guys. Pick a Bolt to score today. Who is it? I know you're a big Stamkos guy. Is it Stammer? He's been shooting the puck quite a bit, man, lately.
Yeah, I like Stamkos, but point. I mean, he looked unbelievable when he came back. Scored twice. We had him, and I had him as an anytime scorer, so that paid off pretty big for me because of him coming off injury. I mean, I feel the DraftKings had him at I think it was like plus 210 or something like that, and I had I put a little bit of money on him to score, and he scored twice. So you don't get paid twice, but I was right twice.
Braden Point, guys, is plus 100 over at DraftKings for 2.5 shots. Same thing at Caesars. Unibet's got him at minus 134. This will change by mid-afternoon. He'll get up to minus 130 or something silly like that. He's been back for 4 games, got 3 goals. He has 5 points, and he's cleared 2.5 shots in 3 of the 4, 6, 3, 2, and 4. So I like Braden Point. And then Victor Hedman. I think, eventually books are going to adjust on Hedman, and every morning when I search him, I'm just like, this might be the day where he's 3.5, he's 2.5, he's getting up there. Unibet's got him at minus 167. DraftKings has him at minus 120. So these are the 2 guys that I like from Tampa Bay all the time. Victor Hedman, 3 shots, 3, 0, 3, 3, 2, 4, 5, 3, 4. So he's cleared in 8 of his past 10 games, and he just plays so much. Like, played the rain. And did you see what he had ice time the other day against the Rangers? 33 minutes, man.
Jeez, man.
That guy's an absolute freak. And I think he was like minus 6 in that game against the Panthers, but I thought he still played pretty good. Put Hedman on the board here. Hedman 2.5 and Point 2.5. Guys, the Columbus Blue Jackets are inside the top 5 in almost every single category. Like, not the good ones. Scoring chances allowed, high danger chances allowed, shot attempts, shots on goal. So I think you can take some shots on, some point props, whether it's Braden Point, whether it's Andre Palat, Anthony Cirelli. Let's see. Cirelli may be like plus 200 for an assist today if he's even on the board. His shot prop's at 1.5, minus 149. I like that. He's plus 185 for an assist, and he's minus 110 for a point here today. I do like Elvis in net. Like, if it's him, I do have a lot of respect for him. Like, he's a guy that can take a game and steal one. But I think the Bolts bounce back here today. All right, keeping things going here. There's one thing I wanted to look at. Tampa minus 145 to win in regulation. That's how we do it. Instead of getting the minus 210, minus 220, we take Tampa to win in 60. They get it done hopefully in regulation. All right, San Jose and Detroit in here next. 13 goals the other day between the Penguins and the Sharks when they played. This one probably a little bit more low scoring. It's basically a pick 'em. Detroit minus 110 at home. San Jose, actually, you can get them at minus 104 over at FanDuel. And the total here is 5.5. All the totals have been 5.5. The last one we talked about was 6, and Calgary's at 6, actually. So let you take it away. Oh, Elvis is out. Thank you for that. Even more reason to like Tampa Bay here. I didn't look at the goalies. Oh, wow. They're down to, that's right. They're down to like their 3rd string. Tarasov was in net the other day, and I thought he played awesome against Carolina. And then he left in between the 2nd and the 3rd. And he stopped 31 to 33. And then Elvis came in for the 3rd. So he's day to day to a lower body. Man, all the more reason to like Tampa Bay here today with, Columbus having some issues in net. What do you like between the Sharks and Detroit?
I like James Reimer in net. I like Timo Meier. He's been very good, and so is Logan Couture. The Red Wings have been up and down. I think maybe, you could lean maybe in DraftKings Ned as a goalie because he's gonna get a bunch of shots, and when he's good, he's good. But man, obviously DraftKings both have it at negative 110, so they don't know what to make of this game either, and I'm kind of the same.
Yeah, the Sharks have been giving up some goals lately, man. They played Arizona just a few days ago. It was 8-7. That game was 8-7. They allowed 7 goals. Imagine the Coyotes scoring 7 goals. Imagine backing the Arizona Coyotes, which I did, right? I talked about them. Weren't we here for the show? Didn't I back Arizona against the Sharks? I think I did. And they scored 7 goals and they still lost. Crazy. And then they gave up 8 the other night to Pittsburgh. I don't know. I'm probably just stay away. I don't like to bet on just brutal teams, even though I just told you I bet on Arizona. But like for a pick 'em, I think I lean San Jose, but I like Erik Karlsson. Timo Meier at 7.6 is pretty on DraftKings is pretty decent. He hasn't been hitting his shot prop. I'd stay away from him. This is potentially the matchup where he could do it. Barabanov at 3.5. He's on that top line. He's got 2 goals and 3 points, and he's got 8 shots in his last 3 games, 18 minutes, 17 minutes, and 15 in his last 3. He's been noticeable on that top line with Logan Couture. So if you're looking for maybe a one-off or a cheapie, I think you can go that route. But Erik Karlsson, 2.5 shots. He's been pretty consistent for me, EY. I think we talked about it before. He kind of looks like the Erik Karlsson of old, man. He's joining the rush. He's got points in 4 straight games. He didn't clear 2.5 in his last one, but he's cleared in 3 of his last 5, and he's cleared in 7 of his past 10 hockey games. 29 minutes, 26 minutes. That's the Erik Karlsson of the Ottawa days, right? Maybe not to the extent where he was like almost he was definitely a point per game guy, but man, he's flirting with 25 minutes. He looks healthy. He looks good.
Yeah, I don't think he has the pull away speed like he used to have, but his skating is still unbelievable. Like his edge work and being able to walk the line up top. He loves to shoot the puck. He's got crazy vision. This is still a really, really good defenseman. And if he's playing that many minutes, he's a great guy to have. I mean, it just the reality is this, that many minutes equals more opportunity, more chances to shoot the puck, more chances to get assists, deflections off tips from the point. And like you said, coming down into the rush, that's always been a thing for him. And he's starting to do it more than we've seen in the last couple of years.
It's really hard to ignore Dylan Larkin, right? Quietly, 15 goals and 30 points in 29 games. He had a point in his last game. He had a 3-point night against the Devils. He had a hat trick and 4 points. He's got 5, 6, 7, 8 points in his last 5 games. He's plus 140 for an assist tonight. I'm a little hesitant to take his shot prop. I don't love it. He has cleared in he's cleared in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his last 7. Maybe I should get on board with this shot prop. But this would be the night, right? Considering what has happened to the Sharks. Anybody out there feeling Detroit? It's hard to keep up in the comments. Keep them coming. We'll address them here on this show and look at them. Yeah, I mean, these guys that are watching, they're super sharp, right? They're talking about the same things we're talking about. Larkin or Timo a point. Yeah, both of these guys. Sharks have been in absolute shootouts of late. 2 of the last 3, 13-plus goals. Yes, Brennan Gilden checking in. Sharks 8-7. You mean either read my comments or reading your mind. I think I'm reading your comments now, but I think we're on the same page, Gilden. And Eric Rodman checks in with Thomas Hertl over 2.5 shots. I think that one is also in play. I've been really impressed with Thomas Hertl. He could be on a new team here very, very soon. We could see that happen, but he is cleared 2.5 shots in 4 straight games. So you know what? There's a lot to like from this game, dude. Like, even though we're having a hard time to figure out which side, we could see I like Reimer and Nedeljkovic as well, but we could see 6 or 7 goals in this game, UI. I think there's a lot of value out there.
We could, yeah. I don't know if I would. I like Reimer. I own him in a few teams, but they haven't been great, and they've been giving up a ton of chances. And obviously, when the Phoenix or Arizona, whatever you want to call them, the crappy Coyotes, as I think I'm going to call them.
Call them the Quebec Coyotes.
The Quebec Coyotes. Coyotes very prominent in that area, so that totally makes sense. When you give up 7 goals to them, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. So I'm staying away from this game. I'm not touching it, man.
All right, I think we'll see some offense. I've kind of convinced myself that we'll see some offense. I'm interested from a DFS standpoint because everybody's so cheap. We got 4 more games to get to. I need a little bit of a buffer before I join Jake Celly on his show, and I got to give some boards to our guys. So I don't think there's too much to say about Colorado and Chicago.
No.
Maybe you have something that you want to say. I put this in late last night over at ftnbets.com. If you're looking to be part of the FTN fam, use that promo code NHL. You get the picks right away. You get the Discord channel. You get everybody's picks across every sport. But if you follow FTN alerts, you'll get notified when I make a bet. Let's see what it is now, because I would imagine it's changed. Colorado to win by 2 is plus 105. I put it in last night at plus 138 over at FanDuel. I still like it. This Blackhawks team is a mess, absolute mess, right? I mean, they turned it around a little bit when they had the coaching change, and they've been much better since the coaching change. But I like Colorado here across the board. They're healthy. They're coming into this game with only Valery Nichushkin, considered day-to-day your boy. So he probably doesn't return to the lineup here today. But there's a way. I have a DraftKings lineup with McKinnon and Rantanen in here. Also Braden Point and Anthony Cirelli riding Connor Hellebuck in net. Like, there's a way. There's a lot of value that we've already kind of tossed at you guys. And we'll have an article live at ftndaily.com a little bit later on, but there is a way to get that top line in your DFS lineups. Gabriel Landeskog is completely underpriced at 6'8". You got Bowen Byram, who I think is a little bit too expensive now at 5'2". Burakovsky did absolutely nothing the other day. I picked him up on a Sunday just to get a shot on goal, and he didn't even do that for me. It was a points league. I just needed one freaking point from this guy, and he couldn't do it. But he's been good over the past couple of games, right? He's got 5 goals, 4, 5, 6 points over his last 3. Him and Kadri are interesting from a DFS standpoint as well. Is there anything else you want to add? I think the Avs probably score 5 goals here today. I'm seeing like a 5-2, maybe 5-3 win. And Kepler's he's kind of turned the corner. He hasn't been fantastic, Eric, but he's winning games. He's getting W's.
Yeah, I like Burakovsky. Like you said, he did nothing the other day, but he's been really good as of late. He's affordable on DraftKings. I've got him in my DraftKings lineup. That's where I would go in here.
McKinnon 3.5 shots. I like it. Plus 120 for 2 points. I like that as well. You could have some fun guys with like a Makar assist, maybe a Devon Taves assist, maybe a Burakovsky assist or point. Kadri, don't overlook Kadri, honestly. Like he's still pretty affordable on DraftKings. He's 6'7". I know he's not on the same kind of heater that he was, but he's still getting points. Like he's got points in 9 of his past 10 games, right? Like he has 2 games over the last 4 with 3 points. So, man, he still is on this ridiculous heater. Like the guy is going to get paid in the offseason, and it won't be by the Avs. The Avs minus 270 in your book, Vladimir. I mean, I would take them on the puck line. I think they're in play on the puck line to win by a couple goals. You take them to win in regulation, improve your odds just a little bit. Yeah, I agree, Mark. Chicago is bad. Kadri point, absolutely. What's Kadri for a point today? I'll find that. Why don't you talk us through this next game? This is another one where I don't think we really need to talk too much about it. It's Arizona and Winnipeg. The Jets are minus 140 to win in regulation. I put Colorado and Winnipeg in last night. In regulation, both teams to win at plus 133. That's going to change just a little bit. Let me get you the live odds here, EY. And you walk us through what you like. Winnipeg minus 200 and Arizona plus 190. The Coyotes have been playing a little bit better lately, but will you back tonight?
I will not back them. Connor Hellebuck is going to play in net, and almost any time that he plays in net, I'm not going to bet against the Winnipeg Jets. I'm stacking Dubois and Connor in my DFS lineup today against Arizona. They're a brutal team. They have brutal goaltending, brutal defense. They're brutal. Like they have been better, but that's not saying anything. This is the worst team in the NHL. Chicago raises their head and waves. But yeah, Arizona is the worst team. Winnipeg is great. I'm riding Connor to be anytime scorer again because he has not done me wrong so far.
No, I mean, he's been great. I think got Pierre-Luc Dubois and Kyle Connor back together, which makes sense, right? It's just a duo that was so good to start the season, then they split them up. Blake Wheeler is out for quite a bit of time. I don't think there's any other injury news really to talk about from a Winnipeg standpoint. From Arizona, they're without Chychrun still. Clayton Keller has been shooting the puck quite a bit. I'm fine with him at over 2.5 shots. He's got 19 shots in his last 3 games, and he's been pretty good from a contrarian standpoint. If you wanted to get nuts, you could play him at 4.7. He's got goals in 3 straight, 4 over that span, and 6 points over this 3-game streak. He's been playing quite a bit, right? 22, 23, 23 minutes. There's only a handful of forwards across the league that flirt with 23 minutes on a nightly basis, but I like Connor Hellebuck from a DFS standpoint at 8-2, so I'm probably going to ride with him. This is another one, right? The Jets, I mean, you could take them in regulation. What did I say? They're minus 140 to win in regulation. This is another one just with Tampa that I'm going to get behind. I think you could do puck line if you wanted to. I don't love it, but, if you wanted to get nuts with a big parlay, you could put, I probably will. I like to get nuts sometimes with some favorites. Like I go Tampa puck line, Colorado puck line, Winnipeg puck line. Like that would be, a decent payout, but it's tough. Yes, Mark says, Eric, are we taking Kyle to score today? You answered that very fast. Absolutely, we are. So Clayton Keller in there, 2.5 shots. I looked up Kadri. He's plus 100 for an assist. That's pretty decent. He's minus 140 for a point. He probably hits the score sheet against the Chicago Blackhawks. All right, moving right along here, we have Nashville and Vegas. So the Golden Knights are going through it again, man. From an injury standpoint, Max Pacioretty is out indefinitely. He had underwent wrist surgery. Alec Martinez is still sidelined. Haig is out. Mark Stone is on IR. He could return today. I don't think. And then Robin Lehner, who really hasn't been that great anyways. We've kind of been hard on him on this show. He has won 4 straight games. He's allowed at least 3 goals in 3 of those 4. He's considered day-to-day, so it is the Laurent Brossoit show. He's been okay, right? I mean, you look at the back of the hockey card, he's been brutal lately, 4 goals, 3-5. But he's had some decent games this season as well. But up against your Preds, from a Nashville standpoint, we had Yossi come back to the lineup the other day. He scored a goal, right? He had a goal. I think it may have been the game winner. He had 5 shots. He's always in play, I think, from a shot prop standpoint. And then you got the full line healthy as well. What do you think, man? Can your Preds go into Vegas and get a W tonight? You backing them?
I am backing them. And that's because of Brossoit. Look, Brossoit has played better than I think we've ever seen him play. But I think he's a liability. And look at the Preds. I know it sounds like I'm a hometown guy, and I am, but they are one of the hottest teams right now in the NHL. They've lost 1 game in the last 10 games. So I really like them. And I'm going on just because of the odds and because he's playing with Johansson, who's been playing very well. And he's playing on the top power play. And he scored I think in his last 3 games. Ellie Tollivan just to be an anytime goal scorer tonight. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you that's what I'm doing. If you want to celebrate with me, join in.
Join in. Yes, Mark. Philip Forsberg, I think, all the time, right? I don't know. Some people in the Discord don't seem to like Philip Forsberg, but he's pretty automatic. But he's minus 161 for 2.5 shots. Unibet has him at minus 139. That's okay. How about Yossi, right? Like, let's just ride you. I'd rather take Yossi at plus money at 3.5 shots. He's plus 130 over at DraftKings for 3.5 shots. Over his last few games, 5-4, 5-4, 9-6. So he is cleared in 5 straight games. He's just an absolute monster. I think this one will probably be low scoring. UC Saros has been pretty good. That Marchand, like, it was one point, I think 3 weeks ago, he's 4-5 on DK. He's at 7K now. I do like him to be the shooter for Vegas, right? 6 shots, 8, 3, 2, and 5 over his last couple games. I like him at 2.5 shots. But I don't love a lot from this game. I could see Nashville going in and getting the win, right? Plus money on the road with Saros and net, fully healthy. Vegas missing a few key guys. I could see it. I could back that one with you. The final game here is Philadelphia and Anaheim. There's a lot to kind of digest here when it comes to the Ducks. Zegras is out. Getzlaf is out. Henrique is still out. And Derek Grant is out. So I don't know if you've taken a look at the Anaheim lines here today, but my goodness, they're super thin down the middle. It could be Lundstrom, who could be that number 1 center tonight with Raquel and Silverberg. If Grant can't go, Zegras and Getzlaf don't return to the lineup, you're going to see a big, significant ice time boost from Lundstrom and Sam Steele. So if you're looking for some value from a DFS standpoint, I mean, Lundstrom, he doesn't do much. I mean, he's just out there. He does have 7 goals in the season. You look at the last few games, he only has 2 points over his last 10. But he can get 20 minutes here tonight. He's only 3K on DraftKings. Flyers, pretty good matchup. But with all those guys out for Anaheim, I think this is an opportunity to actually just jump on Philadelphia. I think, as good as the Ducks have been, Eric, they're starting to, I don't want to say they're coming back down to earth, but, they had a spirited game the other day against Colorado. They hardly generated anything against Vegas, and I thought they looked very mediocre against the Canucks, too. I think they've lost 4 straight games now. I'm going to back the Philadelphia Flyers here. You can get them at plus 120 over at BetMGM. I'm in on Philly. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm also in on Philly, and that's just because of the thin lineup, especially down the middle. Center position obviously is a very important part of what every team does. They play all over the ice, and not having those guys in their lineup tonight is troublesome. So we like the Ducks here, but I'm going Philly. I had it written down on my pad of paper. Philly to win tonight. But I do have Drysdale and Troy Terry in my DFS lineup. That's because Drysdale, he's playing on the top line. He's playing on the top power play. He's a really good skater, a really good player. And Troy Terry, he's not hot like he was, but he's still important. And I think with those guys being out, I know he doesn't play center, but he's going to play a ton of minutes tonight. And Philadelphia's goaltending is I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone knows. But also, I kind of like Carter Hart at 7.3. Like he's a decent value. Affordable, 918 save percentage. Been okay, right? He's been decent, 274 goals against average, 7.8 right? The Ducks may not get a lot of rubber tonight. You might not see a lot with the Ducks so shorthanded, but I kind of like him from a DFS standpoint. All right, we got to get out of here. What's on your card? What else is on your card here? Let's wrap up by giving some picks.
You can tell that I've been out on the IR for a couple days because I went wild today. I got Philly to win, Tolvin to score, Predators to win, Kyle Connor to score, Burakovsky to score, Braden Point to score, Mangiapane to score, Calgary Flames to win, Craig Smith to score, and the New Jersey Devils to win. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. Wow, you got way more than you usually have.
I'm either gonna be very happy tomorrow, or I'm going to be depositing more money in my DraftKings account. We'll see.
We'll see. Colorado puck line, again, plus 138 last night. I think plus 105 is still definitely in play. Colorado and Winnipeg, plus 130 for the parlay. I like the Jets in regulation at minus 140. I like the Bolts in regulation at minus 145. I like the Flyers. I like the Flames as well, plus money going into Florida. I do like the over between Detroit and San Jose. I kind of talked myself into that. Sharon Govich over 1.5 shots. Huberdeau over 2.5 shots. Braden Point, Victor Hedman over 2.5 shots. I like Hurdle and Erik Karlsson as well. I like Karlsson more than Hurdle, but I think both guys are in play. You're going to get a better price for Thomas Hurdle. I like Larkin in that game too. Man, we really do need some same game parlays. I hear DraftKings has them, guys, but not from a shot prop standpoint. I think it's going to be soon. I really do think we're going to see some shot prop, same game parlay stuff pretty soon. Books may have to adjust though. They may lose a lot of money when it comes to like those high powered teams like Colorado and Florida. Nathan McKinnon over 3.5 shots. Kadri over 2.5 shots. I think Clayton Keller's in play at 2.5 shots as well. Throwing a lot at you guys, but you guys are super sharp. We seem to be on the same page here. Roman Josi, 2.5 shots. Forsberg. I'd rather go Josi, I think, because we're going to get a better price, right? Plus money for the 4 shots, but don't ignore Forsberg, put him in a parlay or whatnot. Craig Smith, plus 140 for a point. Jack Hughes, plus money for a point. Cirelli, plus money for a point. Dylan Larkin for an assist. Kadri, plus money for an assist. I'm really going to get involved with some of these Tampa guys and Colorado players here tonight for like assists, maybe secondary players like Burakovsky and Cirelli, Andre Palat, all that good stuff. Guys, we appreciate you hanging out. We got a jet at the Eric Young, at Chris Meaney, Tino running the show for us. Please rate, review, subscribe, and I'll circle back here on the YouTube channel here if there's anything else that I see that I love that I didn't get to or anything else changes from a COVID standpoint. Guys, things happen pretty crazy, as you guys know. It could happen from minutes before a lock. These things seem to happen lately in the NHL. So keep an eye on absolutely everything. I'll be live in the Discord channel. Use that promo code NHL if you're looking to be part of the FTN fam. EY, have a good one, dude. Rest up, feel better, and we will be back on Thursday. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.